Yo, so we're gonna have a video. I'm gonna react to the Art of Dialogue interviewing Dame Dash. Let's see what Dame Dash has to say about Bleak.
Clothing line, and it made me want to ask you, what was your intentions when you gave Beans that clothing line?
None of your business. None of your business. That was his business between me and him. And if Beans was not satisfied, Beans should talk about it. Nobody else but Beans. But someone that doesn't do business, their interpretation of it, someone that is at the actual, no disrespect, but not looked at as the smartest guy in the crew, the brightest light out there.
It's crazy, yeah. They're talking about Beans like he's not the smartest in the crew, but out of everybody in the crew, Beans was one of the best rappers. That's the madness of it all. So he's dumb, but he can rap better than everyone else. Tell me that makes. I mean, all you had to say is like business-wise, Beans wasn't smart, but he can rap. That's all he had to say.
Their interpretation of business, for you to even respect that, for them to give a platform to talk about another man's business, that's the issue. But I'm not talking about what my intention, like who the f are anybody to ask me why I'm doing something and doing business with somebody. But you could ask him,
That's the whole point of this, to ask you questions. Why did you get so upset? Look, you're there to be interviewed and he's gonna ask you a question. He gets so heated over it. Like, how dare you ask me this question? It's like, what? It's the whole point of it, right? If he said something like, oh, well, these questions are off the table, blah, 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 I'll be like, oh, I understand why he's so heated. But then, it's a bit weird.
If there was a complaint or any of those things happen, the problem with everyone is I was the driver, but y'all think I made all the decisions. So when it comes to like, I'll hear Nori say I couldn't sign Daddy Yankee and grab my man saying he had a choice. He had no choice. Jay was not fucking with them. I just wasn't going to go and say, I have to get approval from Jay, Leo, this guy, that guy. They're not going to approve it. You think Jay was approving Jim Jones getting $1 million for a fucking single? But it all goes on me. You think I'm the one that didn't want to sign Daddy Yankee? This nigga didn't want me to sign Kanye, Nori, Joe Buttons. That's when I was like, enough is enough. But there's certain fights, I was like, I'm not fighting over Jim. He could do his thing. But what I didn't have to do was be the person to say they could go get money with Koch because y'all slowing up their money.
Damn, Koch, the graveyard. Man, I remember Koch as a label where it was kind of like these fallen off independent type of artists will go there for like distribution. Every time I thought to myself, remember that rapper? He was at Koch. But no one major was at Koch.
That I didn't have to do. And you could ask them about that. But like him, because Bleak posed the question, that's ridiculous. I'm not answering Bleak about no business questions. Next question. But what I do think is that thing about him not writing his raps, I guess it must have really disturbed his world. So I guess that's,
Dang, that hurt, man. That put a dent in Bleak's little rap career, because Bleak's one of those guys that right now, after Jay kind of retired rapping, it's strange how Bleak kind of retired rapping. Don't you think that was odd? He released like a single afterwards, and I think it was like, I can't remember which one it was called. Is it Right There or something like? No, that's Chiggy. Oh yeah. I can't remember the song, but it was a good song, but it kind of like it was okay, but it had the features kind of carried it. Oh yeah, it was Round Here, innit? Yeah, that track was dope. But of what Dame's gonna be telling us is that some of the singles Jay wrote. So we have to find out what Jay wrote and what Bleak wrote. Also, there's other cases that if Jay was writing these singles, like, it kind of explained why Memphis Bleak kind of fell off the rap platform. It's like he just disappeared. Like after that, he just disappeared. You never really heard from Bleak for years. He's come back. And I'll be honest with you, he don't sound fresh. He don't sound nice. He sounded nicer when he was around Jay, but now he's just rapping, and it's like he's just rapping. It's okay, but it ain't anything great. I ain't heard anything great. But if Jay were to come back and rap, you'd be hearing something that you'd be like, yeah, that sounds dope. You don't hear that from Bleek.
Yeah, he said that was a lie.
No. What he said was what he said was he didn't write all his raps, but a lot of the ones that were singles, I saw Jay write a lot of raps for him. But he writes his own.
He said he saw Jay write a lot of raps for him. Dang, man.
Raps, but the ones that were singles, but we can move on. Again, the question should be, what singles did you write? That would be the question I would ask.
Yeah, Bleek, he also said that he was warning other Rockefeller artists that Jay was about to leave, but they wasn't listening to him.
And what would you think the purpose of saying that is? Neither do I. I don't see how it makes. Maybe it makes him feel good. Like I said, if that makes him feel good, God bless him. I don't really care. Like, I don't know. If he warned everybody would have been better off. But also, that's an accurate. I mean, it's a testimony that no one listens to Bleek.
No one listens to Bleek.
So if he was talking and no one was listening, that's who Bleek was at the time. It's a good thing. I'm happy that people are finally listening to what he says. God bless you, Bleek.
Damn, man. That's cold, man. That's a bridge burnt. He has no love for Bleek right now, man. That's like saying, God bless you, goodbye. You was a nobody. The way it was is like, Bleek was like the sidekick type of rapper to Jay-Z. And he always had nice rhymes. He always sounded nice, but he always sounded nice alongside Jay-Z. When he was by himself, he wasn't that nice. I'm not gonna lie, he was okay. He can rap. I'm not saying that Bleek couldn't rap, but he wasn't as nice as other rappers out there. And now it kind of makes sense why he always sounded nice on certain singles with Jay-Z. Because guess what? It seemed like Jay-Z was writing his rhymes for him. And that I always thought that, but I thought, nah, Jay-Z wouldn't be writing his rhymes, But then you kind of think like, why wouldn't he? If you know how to ghostwrite someone, how to ghostwrite for someone like Dr. Dre, you can ghostwrite for anyone. So he could like just write bars that Bleek might say, Bleek would say, because he's writing them for him, and it will sound nice and it will complement the song. And as for Beanie Siegel, man, he's one of those guys that business-wise, he just wasn't up there. A lot of things that he wanted to be done, if he had the business brains, he could have done it. But the way Dame talks about him, like he was dumb, really dumb. But I remember 50 Cent saying he wanted to sign Beanie Siegel at one point, because he said that the whole crew, he was the one that can actually rap. So that goes to show that could be not really business savvy, but he can actually put together some good words, and to be able to rap, you ain't gonna be dumb. You can't put together these words, put together these metaphors, similes, and sound nice as well, and be dumb. So he clearly has some brains. His brains just isn't in business, and that's what Dame should have said. Anyway, I'm out. Next video, like, subscribe.